Penny Davis here. I am a VIPKid teacher, and I want to help you today to understand the VIPKid teaching style. I have been teaching with VIPKid for over 2 years, and I have taught, but I've also helped over 450 teachers get hired with VIPKid. So I want to help you through that process as well. I want to help you understand what it takes to get hired with VIPKid. So I want you to help you understand that VIPKid teaching style with this video. Now, you may have taught for a long time. I've taught for 25 years before I started teaching with VIPKid, and I thought I knew how to teach, and I did know how to teach, but I did not know how to teach children that did not speak English, or I did not know how to teach online. It's a completely different teaching style that you really have to understand in order to be able to be hired by VIPKid. So that's what I'm here, and I want to help you understand that process, because it is different. And if you don't understand their teaching style, they figured out what works with their children, with their students that are in China and around the world now. But they figured out what works for them, and so they want you to use that style in order to be hired. So that's what I want you to understand today. The first thing is that I want to connect with you and help you with this, and I can help you the most if you use me as your referring teacher. So the way you're going to do this is, if you have not applied yet, use this link. It's www.t.vipkid.com.cn. You have to have that .cn on the end of it, and when you sign up for the account, it's going to ask you for a referral code. That's where you're going to put in this code, Penny0008. Those are zeros, not O's, okay? They are zeros. And if you've already applied, you can go into the VIPKid website, same link as this one here, and then you're going to click on My Account up in the top right corner, and there is a place there where it says Add Referring Teacher. That's where you can also put in my code, Penny0008. If it already has a name listed there, you can't switch to me, but you could just start a whole new application. If they're not helping you, or you don't know how to get in touch with them, just start a new application and use my link. Use a different email and a different phone number when you start that new application, and use this link or this code. Add this code to it, so that you'll be my referral. Now, if you are my referral, you're going to get access to the hiring boot camp, which is a special section of my website that has a ton of information to help you through the entire process. And you also get one-on-one access to me to ask your questions, to do some coaching with you. You also, this is the big thing, is you get to come to my coaching sessions that I hold several times throughout the week to help you through each step. And I teach you about the VIPKid teaching style, and I teach you how to teach the slides. So I encourage you, if you're looking for some support and some help in the VIPKid hiring process, please add me as your referral and do that. But once you do that, you have to email me, okay? So you've got to email me. Let me go back and find my email address. There it is, teacherpennyvipkid@gmail.com. VIPKid no longer shares your email address with me, so you've got to email me so that I can help you through this hiring process. So please email me and let me know that so that I can figure out. Otherwise, I have no way to connect with you, and I want to help you. I really do. But if you don't email me, I can't get in touch with you. Okay? So now there's also lots of help, and if maybe you're not quite sure yet, you want to learn a little bit more about VIPKid, you can do that on my website, which is hellopennydavis.com, and you can also do that in this Facebook group. This is my Facebook group. It's called VIPKid Teachers Wanted. So go look for me on Facebook and find that. So today we're going to be talking about the VIPKid teaching style and helping you understand that. Now there's lots of other things that are going into the being hired, setting up your background, using props, how you dress, all of that kind of stuff, your internet connection, your headset, all of that stuff is important, but the bulk of your score comes from the VIPKid teaching style, how you teach. And so that's why I want you to do your very best on that interview and then on your mock class so that you can get hired quickly. On the interview, it's especially important to know that because that's what sets your salary for the first year. So I want you to understand this VIPKid teaching style before you go into the process, and so that you can get hired quickly and for the best salary. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about with the VIPKid teaching style is TPR. Okay, and that is total physical response. This is probably the biggest thing that VIPKid is looking for. They are looking for you to be physically involved in the teaching. Okay, they want you to act things out and to use motions and to use all of this energy, not just so that you can look like a crazy fool. It is to get the student to respond to you. So in this early lesson, that interview lesson that you're going to do for the interview, you have to help them understand the word sad. Well, it's not enough for the student to just go, he is sad, she is sad, he is happy, she is happy. Okay, that's not enough. They're not going to remember that word. They're not going to understand really what that word means. So what we're going to do is we're going to use motions. We're going to use facial expression, tone of voice, props, all of that to help our students understand what we're talking about. Now, there are two types of TPR that I want you to understand here. The first one is called instructional TPR. This is where you are showing your student what to do in the classroom. So when I point to my mouth and then cup my ear, this is my signal to them. It's what they're expecting for it's your turn to speak. Okay, so pointing to the mouth is they're going to repeat exactly what you say. He is sad. And then when you cup the ear, that's the signal to them that it is their turn to speak. Okay, if you don't put your hand behind your ear, your interviewer, your mock mentor, they're not going to respond. They're just going to look at you. Okay, okay. Yeah, and you're like, what's your name? And you're doing all of this stuff, but they're not responding. Put your hand behind your ear and they will respond to you. Okay. Now, if you don't want them to say exactly what you say, so you're saying, what's your name? You wouldn't point to your mouth then because you don't want them to say, what's your name? You want them to answer the question. So what's your name? Cup your hand behind your ear. This is showing them what to do in the classroom. Other things like counting the number of words. My name is Penny, to get them to give you a complete sentence. Other motions that we do when we want them to draw something on the screen, you can show your finger, draw a circle. Okay, maybe you even hold up your phone or a tablet and you say, draw a circle, to help them understand the concept of touching the iPad or whatever. We used to say to show your mouse. Okay, draw a circle, but here in the last week, I have been hearing that the interviewers are telling them, don't use a mouse, use your finger, okay, and show them to draw the circle with their finger. You can even do that on a whiteboard, okay, hold up a whiteboard to show them that concept of touching and drawing the line or drawing the circle. Okay, so that's TPR. That's the instructional side of TPR, where we are telling them what to do in the classroom. When you get to the mock class, you're also going to be doing some drag and drop where we move things around. So you've got to do drag and drop. So you show them how to do that. Then you show them the mouse, okay, how to move it with the mouse or with your finger. Drag and drop, okay. My best... honestly, with this new change on whether to use the mouse or whether to use the finger before you do your interview, you just need to ask them, which one do you want me to do? Do you want me to use my finger to show drawing a line and dragging, or do you want me to show the mouse? Okay, so just ask them which one they want. That's probably the easiest way to know exactly what that interviewer is looking for. Okay, so that's the instructional side of TPR, showing them what to do in the classroom. Then the educational side of TPR is when we help them understand the concept of the word. So that's where we're going to be doing sad. And we act out the word sad. And we show a prop with the word sad that my prop has disappeared. Who knows where it is, okay? We show a prop. Oh, there it is, okay? We show a prop. sad. Ooh. And then maybe we show the word sad on the back of it. And then we just really go all out and say, oh, sad. See, because what happens when I do all of that is my student goes, oh, I know what she's talking about. She's talking about that emotion that I know. Okay, what's that word she's using? Oh, sad, yes. Okay, and then they're going to remember that with you. Now, the thing is, I want my student to respond using that emotion. Okay, so I don't want them to get to say, he is sad. Okay, I want them to do, he is sad. I want them to do that back with me, okay, to help me know that they understand the concept. Then when we're doing happy, happy, and they're going to show, he is happy, she is happy, whichever one you're using there. And I want them to show me on their face that they understand that concept. Because see, what we're doing is we're helping them get a hook into what they're learning. When they do that emotion, that shows me that they understand the concept, and then we can hook that English word to it. And if they act it out with us, then they are going to remember it more. They're going to remember all those vocabulary words that we're working on there. Okay, so that's the educational. So you do run, and you do sad and happy, and you do throw, and you throw the ball, and you get them to throw the ball. So if they don't throw it with you, you go, Rebecca, throw. Yes, I throw the ball. And you show that motion, and you get them to do that motion with you. That is educational TPR. So it involves physical motion. It involves the facial expression. It involves your tone of voice. Maybe you could turn a sentence into a question with your tone of voice. So he is sad. I've used the same sentence, but now I've turned it into a question. She is sad. Okay, I can turn that into a question using my tone of voice. So all of those kind of things. Also, my facial expression shows me that, nope, that's not the right answer, okay? So that's what TPR is all about, getting them to be involved in it. And I want you to use both of these types of TPR. So showing them what to do in the classroom with instructional TPR and educational TPR. They want you to use both sides of TPR throughout the lesson so that they can so that the student understands it more and follows along with the lesson. They're just more excited about it. They're more into the lesson if you're doing that type of thing with them. Okay, so that's the first thing they're looking for, TPR. And I promise you, they will probably always say you need to use more TPR. Okay, you could stand on your head and juggle, and they would still say you need to use more TPR. Just think about it. Every slide you get to, look at that slide and go, how can I move here? How can I get my student to move here? Okay. All right. The next thing that they're looking for is in this VIPKid teaching style, they're going to talk a lot about in your training material, maybe in your feedback and everything. They're going to talk a lot about this. I do, we do, you do. Okay, this is an educational concept. It's not just VIPKid, but a lot of other students, a lot of other educational styles use this. This is where we show them what to do. That's I do. I show them how to do it, and then we practice it together, and then eventually the student can show and can do it on their own. We're moving them towards independence. We're moving them from just repeating after us to doing it with us until they can do it independently. They can show that they have mastery of the material, that they understand it, and they can use it independently with that. So that's how we're moving them through this, through the concept of learning this. So we start with I do it, then we do it together, and then you do it independently. Now, this is a key concept when we're talking about repetition. These students that you're going to be teaching in the hiring process, particularly if you're doing the interview demo, any of the interview, if you do the live one, the recorded one, or the smart demo, and there's a whole other video on which interview to do, okay? But all of those are, and the lower level mock lesson, all of those rely a whole lot on repetition. Now, our students are learning simply at this point through repetition. They're very much beginner students. Those interview students are like in their first 4 or 5 lessons with VIPKid, okay? So they are very much beginner English students. They don't know hardly anything. So they're learning just simply by repeating after us, okay? So whenever you see a new word, and in VIPKid, if the word is in orange or kind of a reddish orange, that means it's a brand new word, and you're going to repeat that word 2 or 3 times, okay? I recommend 3. That the interviewers say that you have to do it at least twice, okay? Then some of them say do it 3 times. So cover your bases, do it 3 times. If you're teaching the word sad, then you're going to do sad. Sad. Oh, sad. Yes. Then you put that word into a sentence, and you get the student to repeat you after each one of those. Then you put it into a sentence, and usually the sentence is a sentence that they're already familiar with. You're just putting this new vocabulary word into it, okay? So in this case, we're doing he is sad, and you show the little guy here. This is Mike. They're just used to seeing Mike. Mike is a boy, Mike is he. So they're used to seeing that. We're going to put it into a sentence. He is sad. And then have them repeat. Do it again. He is sad. Okay, that is all a part of I do. Okay, I do it. I'm just having them repeat back and forth with me at this point. I'm not expecting them to be able to produce that sentence on their own. They are just repeating it with me. Okay, then on the next part, the next part of the lesson is the we do part of the question. This is where part of the lesson. This is where we're going to practice that sentence. He is sad again. Then we're going to ask a question, and the answer to the question is the sentence that we just introduced. Okay, so this is where we would say, who, after we've practiced he is sad a couple of times, then I would say, who is sad? And I might help them with he. Okay, who is sad? He. He is sad, and help them give me that complete sentence. He is sad. Then I do practice it again. Who is sad? He is sad. This is where they are picking it up, and they're learning this question and answer. This is we do, where we are practicing who is sad, he is sad. Okay, in the later lesson, in the mock lesson, they're learning throw and throws, and fly and flies. Who flies a kite? He flies a kite. Okay, you're practicing that question back and forth with them. Then the third part of this is where the student is showing us that they understand. This is the you do part of the lesson, where they are showing us that they understand this new word, sad, and they can choose this word and put it into a sentence. So or maybe they can choose the correct conjugation of the verb if you're in that mock lesson. Whatever it is, they're showing us that they understand this new concept that we've done. So this is the process we go through. I do, and then we do it together, and then the student does it on their own. Now, sometimes I do, we do, you do is spread apart on different slides. So on one slide you're doing I do, on the next slide you're doing we do, the next slide you're doing you do. Sometimes it's all on one slide, where you move them from the beginning. At the beginning of the slide, you're helping them more, like when we're doing the phonics, and we're helping them read phonics. So in this one, I help them and on the first one, I do I, G, G, I, G, ig, D, ig, D, ig, dig. See how I helped on every bit of that? Okay, and that was I do. They're just repeating after me. This one is going to be we do. W, w, ig, w, w, wig. Yes. See, I helped them a little bit, then let them do it. The last one, Yes, Mig. See, on that last one, I'll let them do the whole thing. So sometimes the I do, we do, you do process is all on one slide. And sometimes it's spread out through several slides, okay? Just depends on the slide you're doing that. But remember that we're always working to move our students from just repeating after us to showing us that they understand it and they can use that language independently. That's the goal all the way through this lesson. Okay. Now, our slides, the lessons are put together in a particular order in order to help our students through this process. And doing this I do, we do, you do process. We have 5 different types of slides that they use. Okay. And they use the initials IPAED. The first one is the introduce slide. This is where we're introducing that new concept to them, that new vocabulary word. Maybe it's a new vocabulary word, maybe it's a new verb, maybe it's a new phonics concept, maybe it's a new sentence that we're introducing to them, but we're introducing new concepts. That's where they're just repeating it. So if you look up at the top right corner of the slide and it says I vocabulary, you know that this is the first time they have seen this vocabulary word, or it's the first time they've seen this verb, or it's the first time they've seen this phonics concept. And this is I do, where you're just practicing it back and forth, or you're just getting them to repeat it back and forth with you. Then when you see at the top of the slide where it says P and then vocabulary or verb or whatever it is, this is the practice slide. And the practice slide equates to the we do. That's where we are practicing it back and forth. You're still helping a lot with this, but you're helping the student become more confident in that question and answer format with it. So you're practicing the question, then the answer with them. Then the A slide is the apply slide. This is where they're going to show us that they understand it. Maybe at this point they can choose the verb conjugation on their own, or they can choose the word and drag it into the sentence, or draw a line to get it into the sentence. But they're showing us that they have understanding of whatever that concept is that we taught them. Okay, so then there's also an E slide that would be next. Okay, by the way, the apply slide is the you do. I think I said that. I don't remember if I said it or not. Anyway, there is also the E slide. This is the extend slides. These are usually at the end of the lesson where you take all of the concepts that you have learned throughout the entire lesson and you put them together at the end of it, usually with some open-ended questions. So you would get them to use all of those words. You won't see the E slide on the interview. You will see it in the mock lessons. So in the mock lesson for the lower level, you would see the pictures of the children with a ball, the family with a ball. And so you're going to extend here using all those different conjugations of the word throw that you've worked on throughout there. So the question is, what do you do with a ball? And you get them to repeat the sentence that you've already been working with. Okay, I throw a ball. He throws a ball. She throws a ball. And then you extend just slightly beyond that. Maybe you could include he throws a basketball. She throws a soccer ball. Maybe you could use mom and dad in there because you know that mom and dad are concepts that they already know. Okay, but that's what the extension slide is. You pull in everything that they've learned in that lesson and you put it into these questions and answers that you get at the end of the lesson. Okay, and then there is a D slide, that is the demonstrate slide. You are not going to see any D slides on your interview process during the hiring process. We only use the D slides every 6 lessons when we do an assessment. But the D slides are there. We just want you to know about them, that they are coming. But every 6 lessons we do an assessment with them, and they have to show us that they understand these concepts. Okay, so this is the process that we go through with these slides. And this is the what do you call it? What was that word? Don't you hate it when you know you got that word right there on the tip of your tongue. But this is the procedure that we go through with these slides. And this is the process, the progress that they make through it. They progress from I doing it with an introduce slide. Then they go to the we do slide where we're practicing it back and forth. Then they can show us that they understand it with the apply. Eventually that we can extend using those words with them. And then every 6 lessons they can demonstrate that they have that complete knowledge of this. Okay. So that's how we put the slides together. But see how they work so much. Those slides, the IPAED goes right along with the I do, we do, you do, because they work hand in hand with that. Okay. Now the next concept that we're going to talk about that they're looking for is modeling. Modeling is when I show my student what to do in the classroom. I want to show them what to do, not tell them. Okay. So this is when you do the things like if you want them to draw a line, then you draw a line, and you use your mouse while you're saying draw a line. You're going to use your mouse to draw. So maybe you're holding with your left hand. If you're right-handed like me, okay, you show with your left hand, draw a line, and while you do that, you're drawing the line with your mouse with your right hand. I can't really show that here, but you're going to show them how to do that. You're going to model for them. You're going to model circle. Circle, he is sad. When you get into the mock lesson in the lower level certification, you're going to do drag and drop, and while you're showing this motion, drag the toy, okay, whatever you're dragging. You show this motion with your hand, but you're using the mouse with your right hand to actually move one of those items. You're modeling for them. You're showing them what to do. The same thing when we're introducing these new words. We model for them the word. I don't expect them to be able to read it immediately. So we model sad, sad, and we model the emotion to let them know exactly what we're doing there. So anytime you want them to do something, you see, I never want my student to go, what does she want me to do? Circle what? Draw a line where? Okay, so I'm always going to show them what I want them to do first. I'm going to show them where I want them to draw that line. I'm going to show them if I want them to move that picture over here or that word over here. I'm going to do it first and then let them do it after me. Always show them what you want to do. You never want them to ask, what does she want? Okay, now sometimes you also have to show things with a puppet. So I'm going to show you. Maybe your student is having a hard time understanding the concept of question and answer, and all they want to do is repeat that question that you say. So you're saying, who is sad? And they say, who is sad? Back to you. So you've got to model for them. You might model for them how to do that using a puppet or a stuffed animal. It does not have to be a dino. Just go raid your kid's closet for a stuffed animal and use the stuffed animal. Now you're going to teach the stuffed animal. So you would say, Dino, who is sad? And then you get Dino to answer the question. He is sad. Yes, who is sad? He is sad. Rebecca, who is sad? He is sad. See, they've seen Dino do that question and answer with you, so that helps them. Even if it's what's your name, you might have to ask Dino, what's your name? My name is Dino. Yes. What's your name? Let Dino ask the question. They love that. Let Dino, or let your puppet, okay, ask the question. What's your name? So you show them that question and answer concept, and that helps them see that difference in that one. Okay, that difference about using a question and answer rather than just repeating the words that you say. Okay, so that's what we do with modeling. We always show them what we want to do first. Now, the next thing we're talking about, the next thing they're looking for is speaking speed and language. You are not going to talk this fast when you do your lesson. You just can't, okay? If you speak really quickly like this, or if you use a lot of words that they don't understand, then those words are called incidental language. And if you use all those words that they don't understand, remember, this is a beginner student. If you use words that they don't understand, they're just going to stop listening. Do y'all remember the teacher in Charlie Brown wah, 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 right? See, when we use too many English words that they don't know, that's what they hear, okay? Because they don't understand what those words are, and they just shut down. They quit listening. So if we use words like, okay, now let's do this. Let's try, can you say, all right, all those kind of words that we think are no big deal, yeah, they're a big deal. Okay. And what happens is the student just shuts down. So the only thing you're going to say are words that you're actually wanting the student to repeat back to you, and the questions. So you're going to be repeating the same words over and over and over and over. Okay. So you're doing sad, sad. He is sad. She is sad. She is happy. Okay, you're repeating those same words, but you wouldn't want to say something like, "Can you say he is sad?" If you say it like that, their interviewer or your mock mentor is going to come back and say, "Can you say he is sad?" Well, obviously, I don't want them to say, "Can you say?" So let's use an instructional TPR. Point to your mouth. He is sad. See, pointing to my mouth means to them that I want them to say that. Okay. Then when I cup my ear, this is their turn to know that it's their turn to speak. So instead of saying, "Can you say he is sad?" He is sad. See, I'm implying it. I'm using that instructional TPR to show that, rather than using incidental language of can you say, or and things that we don't even notice, like, all right, let's move on. Let's go to the next slide. No, just take them all out. So think of it this way. If you don't want your student to say it, you don't say it. The only exception to that is when you're giving them a praise or a compliment. Woohoo! Yay! Good job! Yay! Okay, that's the only time that you're going to say something that you don't expect them to say back to you. Okay, but you're doing this back and forth with them. I didn't really talk about this when I talked about repetition, and I should have. Maybe I should have moved this back up there, but we are setting up with our students when we use this point to the mouth, cup to ear, point to the mouth, cup to ear, point to the mouth, cup to ear. Okay, what we're doing is we're setting up a ping pong rhythm with them. I say something, they say something. I say something, they say something. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with our student. And so we want to establish that rhythm with them so that they're used to saying whatever it is. They're used to repeating whatever we say. Okay, so you want to establish that at the beginning of the lesson with this in order to get them into that habit of repeating with you. Okay, now let's move on, and we're going to talk about the next thing that they're looking for is correcting mistakes. This is probably what I spend a huge amount of my time on, and what my parents compliment me on the most is when I correct their mistakes. And I want you to understand why we do this. See, the parents took English in school. They took it's mandated that they have to take English for the last. What they told us is that anyone below 40 has had at least some English, and they can speak English to some degree. They can read and write some English as well because of what they had from the very beginning when they were in school. But what they did not have is the opportunity to sit down one-on-one with an English-speaking person for that person to correct their grammar and their pronunciation. They didn't have that opportunity. So that's what they want from us as VIPKid teachers. They want us, native speakers, to correct them. They want us to correct their pronunciation. They want us to correct their grammar. If they skip a word, if they use an incomplete sentence, we use we always want them to use complete sentences because they're learning so much of how the language all works together and to form complete thoughts instead of just what does he play with? Instead of just saying a ball, then you won't get them to say the entire sentence. He plays with a ball. So you always get them to give you those complete sentences. I spend probably half of my lessons getting my students to give me their answers in complete sentences. Okay, I always want to make sure that they do that. I always want to correct their pronunciation, but whenever I do this correction, it's very gentle and it's very positive. I just get them to repeat it back to me correctly. So if I say, "What's your name?" and they say, "Rebecca," then I come back and say, "My name is Rebecca." I use look, it's TPR, to show them how many words I want them to say and then get them to repeat it back to me. My name is Rebecca. If they skip a word, my name Rebecca. Okay. My name is Rebecca. Okay, or my name are Rebecca. Okay, then you get to go fix that grammar. My name are Rebecca. Okay, can you tell my daughter's name is Rebecca? She gets used a lot in these videos. So those are the kind of things that you're going to correct. And again, you just get them to repeat it back to you. Okay. Now, synthetic phonics are another thing that they're looking for, but they really go here with mistakes as well. Synthetic phonics are where you don't put the sound behind the consonant. So you and I probably learned growing up, we probably learned b, a, t, and we put that together and we make bat. Okay, well, our students are also learning b, k, d, m. They're learning that in school, but really, does b make the sound b? It doesn't. It makes the sound b. Okay, so M is W. You saw when I showed you these phonics words. It's D is D and G is G. And so they are looking for you to use the correct synthetic phonics without those sounds in them. There are some great videos that are in your training materials on the VIPKid website that talk about this. I've also talked about this in lots of my videos. You're doing D, I, G. Okay, and you say it correctly, but then a very common mistake for your interviewer and your mock mentor to do is you say it correctly, and then they come back and say, igga, digga, wigga, migga. Okay, they say it back to you incorrectly. So that's where you just stop and correct it. And you go, oh, ig, ig, okay, ig. Yes, ig. And you just get them to repeat it until they say it correctly. Try twice. If they're still saying it incorrectly, move on, or you're going to run out of time. Okay, but watch those synthetic phonics correctly. They want you to use them correctly, but they also want you to listen for them to use them correctly. This is the big thing about mistakes. They're going to make mistakes, your interviewer and your mock mentor. They're going to make mistakes on purpose. They are wanting you to listen for those mistakes and to correct them. So make sure that you are correcting those mistakes. And if you make a mistake in the way you say something, just correct yourself. Okay, make sure you're using proper English, proper standard correct English when you're in there. Don't come on into this class and be talking all like, yeah, okay, I'm from the South, so use correct English. Okay, shouldn't have to say that, but I'm just going to make sure I say that. Anyway, one other thing to look for, not in the interview lesson, but later in the mock class, is the S on the end of the verbs. We're going to be teaching throw and throws, fly and flies. So listen carefully for that S on the end of the verb, that they're conjugating it correctly and using the correct one. Just listen carefully for that, because it's easy to miss if you're not listening for it. Okay. Now, last things that we're looking for are extending and pacing. You want to extend the lesson just a little bit beyond what's in the teacher directions. So if the teacher directions call for you to use he throws, she throws, I throw, maybe your extension would be to use we throw. Okay, if it says, the question is, what does he play with? And they're giving you, he plays with a ball. You could add that, because you've already seen in the material that they've sent you that they just learned the word basketball and football and soccer ball. So you know that you can use those words because they already know them. So you could extend to, he plays with a soccer ball. She plays with a soccer ball. Okay, you add in a basketball, whatever. You add in something that they already know as a review, or you teach them just a little bit more. Okay, when it has the picture of the little boy with the kite, well, they don't officially know kite yet. So that would be an extension to teach them this new word, kite. Okay, so you would use he plays with a kite as an extension with that one. Go watch the video for the A lesson and for the mock lesson to see exactly how I use those. Okay, so extend the lesson just slightly, not too far. You can't go too far. What color is the ball? What kind of ball is it? Nope, that's too far. Okay, they don't know colors yet. Okay, they don't know the question what kind, but they can just add in the word basketball or add in the word soccer ball. Okay, don't go too far with your extension. Just use a different pronoun or a different type of ball or something like that. Okay, but at the same time that you're extending this lesson, they want to see you extend the lesson on at least 3 or 4 of the slides throughout there. So extend several times throughout the lesson, but at the same time, watch your pacing. Okay, you have to end exactly on time. If this is the interview lesson, you have 5 minutes to teach that live or recorded interview. If it is the mock class, you have 10 minutes to teach that one. And you want to be saying, bye-bye, see you next time, exactly at 10 minutes, okay? Now, it's not the end of the world if you don't finish exactly on time. Most people do not finish the entire lesson in that time because that pacing just takes some practice, okay? They would rather see you teach well than to rush through the lesson. But at the same time, do not end early. Okay, if you somehow miraculously end up finishing this whole lesson in 8 minutes, you better figure out how to extend somehow. Okay, go back and repeat something maybe that they had a harder time with, or you do that extension a lot longer, whatever you need to do. The parents pay for a 25 minutes lesson, and by golly, they want their 25 minutes worth. So we cannot end our classes early. We have to extend somehow. And I've had some classes that the kids just race through the material, and I look up and they're at the end of the material and it's 16 minutes into the lesson. So I've got 9 minutes now to extend. So you go back and you review what they've done, or you extend a little bit farther, or you make a game of some kind out of their vocabulary words, or you write the vocabulary word somehow like that. But here on this one, you're just going to use those extensions of using different conjugations or creating that simple conversation with them in order to extend that lesson just a little bit farther. Okay, so extend just a little bit, but still end on time. So you need to make sure that you have a stopwatch going. Like if you're using your cell phone, use your cell phone as a stopwatch. And when you start teaching, you hit that timer, and so you can see exactly how much time you have. There is going to be a timer in the classroom, but it starts at the beginning of the interview or at the beginning of the mock class. It doesn't start when you start teaching. Okay, so it won't be accurate for when you actually start teaching. Okay, so I hope this has helped you figure out how the VIPKid teaching style is different than any other teaching that you might have done. And particularly if you're someone who has taught for a long time, this may be difficult for you. Okay, it may be difficult for you to understand how we do things so differently with VIPKid. And you may come into this thinking, you can't teach me nothing. I know how to teach. I've taught for 20 years, whatever. Well, you may have taught for all that time, but you don't know the VIPKid teaching style. So I encourage you to be flexible, to be teachable, to learn something new, to learn this new style that works for them. Because if you don't understand their style, you may be a great teacher, but you won't get hired. You won't get hired by VIPKid if you don't understand their teaching style. Again, thanks so much for watching this. If you have not applied, go to this link, use this code, Penny0008, and add me as your referring teacher so that I can help you more through the process. I hope that this has been encouragement to you and it's been a help to you for that. Again, if you have already applied and did not use a referral code, click on my account in the top right corner and add that referral code in there. If you already use somebody else's referral code but they're not helping you, just submit a new application using that code and I can help you all the way through the process. But no matter what you do, make sure you email me. If you add my code or you apply with me, then make sure you add my code to you email me so that I can reach out to you and help you with all of this process. Thanks so much for watching. Please give me a like and a subscribe here on YouTube and come back and watch something else that I have done. There are lots of videos here on my channel that walk you through every part of the hiring process. So I encourage you to watch those videos and learn from those with it. Okay, thanks so much. Bye-bye.